Hello, good afternoon. Just banged out another life update blog post and email, and was sitting here thinking about the last 6 weeks of van life and trying to figure out what I wanted to talk about in this video. When I realized something bubbling. I was thinking about the last 6 weeks of van life, which have been probably more like three plus some time at the cottage plus some time with family, and trying to think about what I've learned in that time. And this has been a time when I've like tripled down on working finally, and really honed in on focus, work, and making progress towards my goals. And I wanted to talk about, I feel like there was a little bit of friction from uh time is so weird. Was it yesterday? Yes. Yesterday I made the pivot 2 days ago in the afternoon. In Boone, North Carolina. It feels like, I don't know, 3 days ago, 4 days ago when I was in Boone. Uh I felt some friction with the idea of not continuing to camp in the forest and instead do another morning coffee shop work session. And I think I wanted to explore why I felt friction. And one of the takeaways that came to mind. So I think one aspect is consistency. Consistency in doing what I say I will do. And so I think coming out of Asheville, this sprint of working really hard and starting to drive north, I had the intention of slowing down, but and so I kind of said that I wanted to slow down and I would find more forest camp spots. And so I think there was some friction in changing because it would be not consistent with what I said. So there's that aspect. Then there's I think there's this other part that's like this. I don't know what the right word is. Awkward discomfort, hesitation with the let me try to get this right. Hesitation with accepting, with the idea of liking and valuing work. I feel like there's this landscape nowadays in social media that's like anti-working. And actually this was really interesting. I This morning, instead of jumping straight into working, which has been what I've been doing more recently, I did some gardening again, which is usually when I just go pick random notes in my Obsidian journal. And the first one, literally right off the bat, right off the rip, I landed on my life update post from Bali when I met this guy from France, and it was maybe not the first time, but one of the instances. Well, he has a very similar mindset to me of valuing routine and work, and it was incredibly refreshing to hear someone that I felt like understood me. And so I feel like there's this landscape in social media and internet, whatever, that's like anti-work and working is bad. I guess it's the pushback against, or it's the push towards work-life balance. I think it's that I'm trying to identify. And I feel like I've always felt this hesitation when I talk about how much I just enjoy routine and working and making progress and how much it feels good because of this, you know, people on the internet that are like, "Oh, but you're working too much." This is just generally two people uh like, "Oh, you're working too much," and like work life balance and whatever. And so I feel some friction with that, and I haven't quite reconciled it. But the more experience that I get and the more that I live these experiences and note how I feel after the varying types of days that I have, the more it still continues to be true that routine and working resonates with me. And so, going back for full circle, as I was reflecting on this kind of chapter of van life, I was like, I feel like I need to stop listening to other people. Like, why am I valuing these anonymous people that it's not even like, oh, Sally and Joe from, this commenter, or like this friend or this family member. It's like random negative thoughts from various viral TikToks or YouTube React videos. Like, it's just not even, it's not real. And I'm giving these voices attention when my experience differs from that. And I think, we're all going to live a different experience. You might value work life balance more than the next person, or you might value work, or you might value experiences, like whatever it is. Um, but yeah, I think I'm reaching one of those points where let me think if I can. What was the last time this came up? It it was the last time, maybe not the last time, but the moment that I'm thinking about was in Thailand. After my first week, I was writing my blog post, and this is at still public at the bottom of my end of my blog post from, I think, the first week in Thailand. I was talking about how I just was eating like crap, spending a lot of time traveling, rushing around, high stress. My hair was literally falling out, and I was like, I feel this inclination, this pull towards just slowing down and working. And I remember writing, like, when I I know from my experience that this is what I want, and that this is going to make this is going to fix the problem of the stress, the crappy diet, the not feeling fulfilled. And I was like, when are you going to listen to yourself? Like, the answer. When are you going to pull from your own experiences and listen to the advice that you would give yourself rather than these, like, you know, anonymous voices of the internet that are just, their job is to criticize every single thing that you do. And so I think that's one of the takeaways or the thoughts and takeaways that I had just now is like, I need to stop giving attention to these voices that are just, devil's advocate criticisms, and start listening to my own experiences and my own body, my own mind. Because there are some things, not all things. There are some things that I've done enough that I just know. I know what works. And maybe they won't always work, but I have enough evidence to make a a, a well-directed, educated guess. So anyway, I thought I'd share that exploration process with you. Maybe you're in a similar situation, needing a similar message to what I'm resonating with. See you tomorrow.